Central Minnesota Sports Hub. It's the Morning Sports Desk, presented by Wadena's Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade. Available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts, and streaming on YouTube.
Powered by Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade in Wadena, this is the Morning Sports Desk. I'm CJ Baumgartner. There's Corey Tackman. Corey, a lot to talk about in the high school sports scene as the defending Section 6A champion Henning Hornets take on the Wadena-Deer Creek Wolverines. We'll talk about that game. Also, a little bit of a local sports roundup and the Minnesota Twins vibes being off before pitchers and catchers even actually report to spring training. We'll talk about all that and more, Corey, but the vibes are always great at the Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade in Wadena.
The vibes are always great. The vibes are new at the Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade in Wadena. The wait is over, CJ. The legendary chicken tenders are back and better than ever. They're crispy on the outside, juicy on the inside, and of course, perfectly seasoned. The golden strips are ready for you to pile high on your plate. Get them on the buffet or order as a meal or a box for takeout. You can find all their chicken tender options along with the country's best crispy ranch chicken under the chicken category when you order online. Tendies, they're back at the Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade in Wadena. I suppose we're probably going to have to talk to Zach about this, aren't we? And get our grubby little fingers on some tendies.
It would be a dereliction of duty, Corey, if we did not try and get ourselves some chicken tendies from the Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade in Wadena. Zach, hook us up because I'm in.
Tendies.
Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade in downtown Wadena now with chicken tendies. And of course, Corey, Thursdays, wing night, all that great stuff. So plenty of stuff happening at the Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade in Wadena, proud sponsors of the Morning Sports Desk. Okay, Corey, we have a little bit of some Park Region Conference.
Basketball, gimme the ball because I'm gonna dunk it!
It is the Henning Hornets taking on the Wadena-Deer Creek Wolverines from WDC. 7:15 pregame, 7:30 tip-off on 101.7 FM, AM920 KWAD, online at wadenaradio.com/KWAD. Of course, we're getting late enough in the season, Corey, where, by the way, you can also find it on the Hubbard Radio Wadena YouTube page as well. But taking a look at where we're at in the Park Region Conference standings, I don't quite know if it's been mathematical yet, but the Henning Hornets are close to clinching another Park Region Conference title, able to rack up some wins earlier in the week against New York Mills to get that. And then they had a win against Sabika on Friday. So they are, when you look at the conference games they have left, they have Wadena-Deer Creek and Verndale. Those are the two. So maybe they've already clinched it, but I believe tonight would officially clinch them with a win of getting, what is this, like their fourth straight PRC title?
Yeah, I suppose it's something like that. They're awesome. They're awesome here yet again. I don't know. What else can I say about Henning basketball, boys basketball, that it hasn't been said over the last presidential term?
Or two. It's going to be a game tonight between two teams in the PRC. Henning in first place, 12-0. Pillager at 8-2. New York Mills 8-3. Sabika 7-6. They were so close to getting the other way around. Bertha Hewitt's 3-8. Wadena-Deer Creek 3-8. Verndale 2-9. Monaga 2-9 on the season. And looking at the Henning Hornets again, they come in with an undefeated record, 21-0 on the season, 8-0 in the Section 6A, and 12-0 in the Park Region Conference, 8-0 at home, 10-0 in road games, 3-0 in neutral site. And Corey, the Henning Hornets have a QRF of 103.1. They have a class rank of number 2. And in the section, they are ranked right now as number 2 because the Pelican Rapids Vikings, despite the Henning Hornets beating them earlier in the season, a lot of that kind of Heart of Lake schedule has come in favor for QRF rankings for Pelican Rapids. And now as the section gets updated here, and I'm looking at the updated standings, Henning has reasserted themselves as first place in the section. So
wow, well, I'm glad you hit refresh on that page. That was good timing.
I am so glad I did, because that thing updated at just the right time. Henning is now first place in Section 6A with a 103.1 QRF compared to Pelican Rapids 100.7. But even if they're within margin of error, Henning with the tiebreaker would kind of give them that edge anyways. So if you're Henning, you just need to kind of keep it close enough with a Pelican Rapids squad that's 16-5, 5-1 in the section, but again, has a lot of two-way wins on their belt. Breckenridge right below them, Park Christian, Benson, Hillcrest Lutheran Academy, Underwood, Hancock, New York Mills, all in that giant section because 6A has gotten rid of the subsection. So that is where the Henning Hornets stand. They stand as the number 2 ranked team in all of Class A. Corey, just off the top of your head, who do you think is number 1 in Class A right now, according to QRF?
Well, it's not Pelican, right? Because you said they who is number 1 in all of Class A boys basketball? Cherry?
No, think South.
I'm gonna need more than that. We got the whole half a state. We got Southeast, Southwest,
Southeast,
South Central. Give me a region.
Southeast
Class A boys basketball. Southeast Class A boys basketball. Southeast Class A boys basketball. Well, normally you would say Goodhue here, but they're like the number 1 team, I think, in 2A.
Mm-hmm.
Who is
kind of think a little bit south of the Corey Tackman neck of the woods.
Yeah, I know.
Come on, Corey. You can do it.
Dover-Iota.
No, it is from Section 2, Janesville, Waldorf, Pemberton.
JWP.
Yep. Okay. They have a QRF of 108.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty good. Yeah, that's a nice little feather in the cap there. 108 even. They're 21-2 overall on the season. So they're pretty good.
I think important too, we've talked about this a little bit, but for Section 6A, getting that number 1 seed is going to be very important because this is a top-heavy section, and 3 of the top 10 teams and probably 3 of the top 7 teams are in. What's Breckenridge's ranking?
Breckenridge is 3rd in the section right now.
How about state though? What's their QRF?
Their ranking in the state right now in Section 6 is 3, but in the state they are 10th.
So 3 of the top 10 teams are in your section.
Park Christian 14th, by the way. So 4 of the top 15 teams are in your section.
Sure. So you're gonna have to. It would be really nice to not have to beat 2 top 10 teams just to make the state tournament. It'd be nice to only have to beat 1 top 10 team, although you're going to have to beat 2 top 15 teams.
Right. Exactly.
Which is, and if you can get through the section's loaded.
If you can get through that, your ranking is going to be pretty good.
You'll be prepared.
You will be a top 3 seed in the state.
I would argue if you come out of 6A, you'll be the 1 seed in the state tournament.
That is also very much in play. Take that, Janesville, Waldorf, Pemberton. What have you only lost to 2 teams? You only lost to Waseca by 4 and only lost to Triton by 20.
Which is huge.
And
Waseca's way bigger than them.
Yep. And Waseca had a QRF of 96.5 coming into that game. So they were a very nice AA school. And then Triton beat them by 20. They have a QRF of 108.2 in AA. But you know what? The Bulldogs did get back on the right track. Unfortunately, Corey, they beat Sibley 72-60 on Monday.
It's a pretty low spot for Sibley East of late.
QRF of 39.8. So it's not necessarily the bottom of the barrel, but yeah, it's not necessarily the height of Janesville, Waldorf, Pemberton right now.
They made the state baseball tournament a few years ago. That was really fun. I got to cover Sibley East's state, but they haven't really been good at much of anything since then.
It ebbs and flows as it always does.
It's a lot of ebbing right now.
We couldn't. How could Middle East flow from the days of the Corey Tackman era? You know,
That was also an ebb stage.
well, you know, there were some flows in between, I'm sure.
There were some flows that the class of 04 didn't contribute very much to.
You were vibes. You were there for vibes. So that's all that matters.
The class of 03, the class of 02, the class of 05, some flow there. The class of 04, mostly ebb.
Hey, let's take a look at the local sports roundup here and just kind of go across on some milestones from across the region. Do want to give a shout out to Parker's Prairie's Evie Griniger, who reached her 1,000th career point earlier this week in a loss that they had to Hillcrest, but still a really cool moment for her to get that point.
Very cool. I saw Evie actually at the, I think it was Evie at the Farm and Home Show at the Prairie Event Center. She was wandering around there and hadn't yet. This happened after that Farm and Home Show, I think, if my timing is right. Way to go, Evie. Pretty outstanding career for Evie across all sports. If you think about what their volleyball did this fall and now what she's doing in basketball too. So that's exciting. Way to go, Evie.
Pretty darn cool. And also, if we go west on Highway 10, we will find ourselves in Frazee, where Adam Vegan has now become the all-time career points leader in Frazee boys basketball history. He was able to get to that. The record was 1,314 points set by Jack Cornea and Mitch Anderson, who had it before him. So really, really cool for him to get to this milestone.
Isn't that kind of funny that of all the points you could have scored, two guys had the same number? That's kind of wild, isn't it?
Tie it was like, I'm just stuck. Like, that's all I could do. We're tied. And the guy
I saw Adam
to keep my record for just a little bit more.
I know. I saw Adam play, I think it was last year, because I saw the Green Hornets play the Orange Hornets in Henning. Mm-hmm. And Adam's a nice player, is a nice guard, and he's kind of one of those like handle, shoot, play make. Adam's a nice basketball player. Way to go.
Overall athlete as well. Frazee boys right now, just as we talk about ebbs and flows, when you look at their team making the state baseball tournament last spring, their football team had a really nice campaign. And then you also look at basketball with Vegan and some of the things they're doing. So it's cool to kind of see those things ebb and flow, and especially to see some of the guys who are leading the charge on the basketball court. So congratulations to Adam and to Frazee on the season. Corey, as we look into high school hockey, I know it's a little bit more north of where we typically cover, but got to give a shout out to the Bemidji Lumberjacks, who have advanced for the first time in 19 years to the girls' state hockey tournament last night.
Nice. Way to go, Bemidji.
So, like they classically were called the Lumberjacks, and then for girls sports, they're called the Lumberjills. And I was talking, and I just said it in passing to Jared Rubedo, who used to be a sports reporter for Detroit Lakes and Alexandria and around here, and he now is the sports editor at the Bemidji Pioneer, and we are interviewing him for our Beaver Banter podcast, which you can find wherever you get your podcasts. And after we got done recording, we were just kind of shooting the breeze with him, and I mentioned, oh yeah, the Lumberjills are having a nice season, and he's like, I don't think I've ever heard anybody call them the Lumberjills in like 10 years. I was like, all right, cool. Now I don't have to worry about it.
There are not a lot. Off the top of my head, I think there are two schools who still like historically follow some of those rules.
Mm-hmm.
Breckenridge is one of them.
Yep.
Because they're the Cowboys and Cowgirls.
Yep.
And I believe Monaga, generally speaking, still like officially refers to their girls sports as the Lady Braves.
Yep.
Yeah. Now, I don't know, like it's not on any of their uniforms or anything, but I feel like in programs and officially, I believe that's still Lady Braves in Monaga. I don't know. That I'm definitely going to get called out for that one.
On their girls basketball uniform said Lady Bears on them.
Yeah, that happened in a lot of places, but also like it's such a I think it's the right choice to have moved away from that. Like, what is it? Who cares? Who cares? It's a like, if you want to be right in Bertha Hewitt, you got to call them the Sows, and that's not a good way to do this.
Sounds
A
like
lady bear is a sow. We're not going to put that on our uniform. So bears is fine.
So looking at section championship week, Zeke has a whole write-up talking about all of the games and the things that are happening and everything like that. So go check out Zeke's article up on Sports Cow on Facebook, or when you go to Wadena-Radio.com. Can I get a moo?
No, wait, moo.
Moo. Okay, there we go. There is our local sports roundup. You can follow Sports Cow on Facebook for all of the latest updates there. Oh, actually, one more that we didn't get to on the show. This comes courtesy of New York Mills, and this was a couple days ago. Finn Roeder signed his letter of intent to play baseball at Alexandria Technical and Community College, where he'll study pre-engineering, and is excited to play baseball for the Legends next year. So just mark another great player out of New York Mills to continue to play at the next level.
Yeah, but also this is the third player in the last month from the area, from the radius, that signed with Alexandria. Like they're building a little program there with our local kids. That's exciting.
It is exciting. And it's one of the things where like M State is in Wadena, and that's great. But for sports, they locate everything out of Detroit Lakes, whereas Alexandria has just opened up sports at the tech school. And if you're making that calculus of going to DL or going to Alec, it's sometimes just easier to go play for Alec, and it's logistically easier because all the sports are on campus. Now they share them with Alec. I think they share the facilities with the high school, but
M State's in Fergus, is it not?
Yeah, Fergus maybe is the what I'm thinking of. The point is it's not.
Doesn't matter, right?
If you're wanting to just go in Wadena because you live close to Wadena and you want to play sports, it's just a little bit logistically tougher. But
you know what? It's I think you go where
you want.
Maybe you know where you may, like, these guys all know each other. I'm sure they're at least familiar with each other.
On that team right now in his second year is Deshaun Robinson of New York Mills. So like
and Kobe Snyder.
That sounds right. Yeah.
Is there too? So like we're loaded. Like Park Region Heart of Lakes is like the majority of the roster right now, and at Alex. So whatever, their coach is doing something right there.
If you were going to pick off two conferences to recruit in the area, I would pick the Park Region Conference and the Heart of Lakes Conference for baseball.
Brother, tell me about it.
I would just exclusively go there. Let's look at the roster right now for baseball. We have a highlight from Albany and Obsack from Breckenridge. We have Kobe Snyder, who's on the team. Alex Bloom, who's from Perham. We have Jack Lundquist of Bemidji. And then Ethan Mueller of Belgrade, from Belgrade, Bruton, El Rosa. Carson Davis is on the team from Wadena-Deer Creek. Deshaun Robinson.
I forgot about Carson. That's right.
Mm-hmm. And hey, look at that, Corey. There's even a Gavin Hayden from Gaylord on here. So you get your representation.
Oh, nice.
From, I think that's about it for our local stuff. But there's enough local guys on that team where it's like, I remember playing with or against all those guys. Let's just go do it there. So
of course, that's awesome.
Congratulations to him. So
that's just good recruiting, CJ.
Mm-hmm. The vibes are off at Twin Spring Training already. Is it fair to say?
What do you already? I think you mean still.
Right. I like, this is the thing about spring training, right? It's like the first day of training camp practice for the NFL, right? The Cleveland Browns are going to walk in and be like, hey, Super Bowl, baby, we're back. Like, let's, things could be our year this year. And everybody's kind of walking into Twins camp like, are things going to get weird very quick? Like, are we going to have to deal with something getting out of hand very fast? It feels like everybody's kind of waiting for the house of cards to fall. You know what I mean? Like, Joe Ryan was in an article yesterday being like, I'm glad to be back. He's like, I'd be a lot less glad to be back if Pablo Lopez and Byron Buxton weren't here, which is basically his way of saying of like, if they were going to be traded, I would have demanded a trade. Like, that would have, it's that kind of thing of like, you have your best three players who I think have all said the right things. Like, this isn't all of this to say the vibes are weird, but it's not because the players have created a toxic environment. I think you could say the players have nothing to do with the vibes at all.
Other than they're bad at baseball.
other than, there's some development issues with a few of them. And maybe the front office didn't quite identify the right talent. But the point is like when you look at the ownership fiasco, when you look at everybody wondering all offseason, is Buxton, Lopez, Ryan going to be traded? And now they're all back. And everybody's just kind of going, yeah, we're back. And that's great. And here we go. We want to be competitive. But even though there's a new head of ownership, they haven't spent any more money. And in fact, the president of baseball operations has stepped down 2 weeks before we were supposed to show up. And with limited investment in the team, we're not going to be very good. And if we're bad at the trade deadline, are they just going to sell everybody off anyways? Like, are we just all kind of biding time until then? Are we waiting for the inevitable? And that's kind of what I feel like is happening with Twins spring training right now.
Well, the Tigers just re-signed Verlander, so we'll include him in this to make it sound less bad. But the Tigers are paying 3 pitchers more than the Twins are paying their entire 40-man roster.
Love it. I love it. I love that that's what is happening with the Twins payroll right now.
So, and then to your point, which is depressingly true, is like if there is a glimmer of hope on the season at all, it's that Pablo is back and Ryan is back and Buxton is back, and maybe this is like Keyshaw turns into something, and maybe Walker gets a call up and he turns into that is if there is a glimmer, that is the glimmer. That being said, if this is weird, like we're also talking about Pablo and Ryan and Buxton, and I'll be like, screw this and screw you, get me out of here. And they will be absolutely in the right to do so.
Right, exactly. And this is already welcome in first-year manager Derek Shelton. You have basically a house of cards that we are just hoping you can prop up. Go get them, Tiger. And
the ownership has already said too, we are going to judge this on wins and losses. We're not going to can we stop talking about budget cuts?
Yeah,
we are going to judge this. So he already is setting this up. He's already setting this team up for failure and deflecting blame.
Which is kind of why the president of baseball operations maybe said, you know what? Screw this.
Yeah, kind of is a nice way to say that's absolutely what happened.
Right. You came in, you guys just cut me off at the knees and you're like, go win a race.
Right.
And then you're going to dump me if I don't win the race and be like, that was his fault. We want to win. Yep. Can I get more money? No. So yeah, it's going to be bad. It has the very big potential to be bad because, and this is the thing, first day of pitchers and catchers reporting is supposed to give you even just a little bit of delusion, right? To be like, well, I think the boys are back and, I haven't seen Joe Ryan in a while. And it's cool to see Byron Buxton taking a batting practice and look at him crush that ball. Boy, I tell you, they could have a chance if things go right. And that still is true, but boy, is it from day number 1, do you just not feel it?
CJ, it's 40 degrees in Minnesota. The weather is beautiful. Pitchers and catchers are reporting today. For the past 39 years of my life, today is the day where it's like, where's my glove again? I need to just play catch with somebody, or at least just snap a ball into my glove over and over again around the living room. I don't feel an ounce of that this season.
Well, and the Minnesota Twins are trying to do their part to try and get people into seats. They're offering their Twins Pass, which is you can buy standing room tickets for every single game for a super discounted price. I think you could buy the whole thing for $229 per person, which isn't a bad deal. Again, if I lived within an hour of the Twin Cities, I'd be like, I could make that work. But I don't, and I'm not gonna. They also have a thing where you could, if you buy 3 tickets, if you buy tickets for 2 games, you get a third one free. And it's for select stuff, and there's certain games you got to check and all that kind of stuff. But that being said, they are rolling out some plans to they understand the writing on the wall. For once, the poll ads have a little bit of clarity, and they're like, you know what? It's going to be a problem getting people in the ballpark this year. What can we do to get them to want to come here? One of the answers is give them deals on tickets, give them super cheap ways to get into the ballpark. If you buy a standing room only ticket, you're going to find an open seat that you can just go
definitely.
So that'll be okay. And whatever, the buy 2, get 1 free. Now for somebody like me, who it's a whole day to go to a Twins game, that that's where it's like, okay, cool. Well, if it's 3 games over like a 5-month season, I can find ways to make all that work and still feel like I got a deal. Like that's something that's good. And not only that, Corey just announced today that the Minnesota Twins are offering $2 beers in the following circumstances in 2026. $2 pregame beers for my Twins choice and reserve members for every game. So basically season ticket holders. Every game you get $2 pregame beers. $2 pregame beers for all fans on Friday and Saturday home games, which is like that. Okay, that'll play. They want people into the ballpark early, so that way they're there for 4 hours and want to go buy a hot dog. That is 100% the plan. And $2.
And then
go ahead.
Cynical me is also like, oh, cool. You're going to charge what the price of a beer should be.
Right, exactly.
It sounds like it's a discount, but that's because they marked it up to $8 beers.
They do have the discount section in the outfield, which I do appreciate. They don't give you a ton of stuff, but at least you're not paying $10 for something. You can just like, are you buying instead of, like a big can of pop or a big cup? Are you just buying a 12-ounce can? Sure. But are they only charging you $2.50 for it? Okay. Like I'll live with that. $2 pregame happy hour on beers, hot dogs, and snacks on Friday home games. It's what you got to do.
They're all good deals. That's I'm not going to fault them for that. I'm not going to praise them until we got to go a long ways for some praise.
They are doing what they should do, and they are having to do that because they've done such a bad job at everything else. Like that is where it all. They're not doing it out of the goodness of their hearts. They're doing it because they're begging everybody to go to Twins games. And you know what? That's fine. I will get, again, as much as I don't want to hand it to them, at the very least, they're doing what they should be doing, which is not always what you could say of a Pohlad-led team when it comes to their business.
Yeah, I would say we can give them credit for doing the bare minimum. That's fair.
It's like when they wanted credit. They're like, hey, we kept Pablo Lopez and Joe Ryan and Byron Buxton. We didn't think about trading those guys. Like, well, you traded everybody else. You don't get credit for keeping the guys already on your roster. Like that's what you should do if you say you want to compete.
Right.
And then they're like, we want to compete. No half measures. Oh, so like all the money you cut from the Correa contract, are you going to reinvest that in that? No.
As a matter of fact, I don't even want to talk about it anymore.
No half measures. We want to win. No money for the front office. And you know what? Get off my back about it. I'd love to get off this payroll thing for a second is a direct quote. And whenever the Pohlads are done owning this team, and I hope it's sooner rather than later, that will be their epitaph of their ownership. Here lies the Pohlad family ownership. Quote, I'd love to get off this payroll thing for a second. Unquote. That is something that you could have said pretty much for the entire time they've owned the team. Awesome.
Thrift store shop in a professional organization.
They got Liam Hendricks back, Corey.
They suck.
Needle
mover Liam Hendricks.
In what? Yeah, if this was
needle mover Taylor Rogers.
Hey, needle mover Gio Urshela.
Fine. Oh my God, I know. Because of his defensive woes, is basically going to be their starting shortstop by the end of the year.
And by the way, it's the thing of like, Brooks Lee isn't that good of a shortstop. Let's get Gio Urshela to be his backup. And it's like, I know everybody loved Gio Urshela's defense when he was with the Twins. He made some nice plays, but he also wasn't the best defender either. So
also he was a third baseman.
Right. And the Twins traded him for a single A prospect who is still in the organization and still hasn't gotten above high A. So, or he got to double A, got shellacked, and he was finished out last year at high A. But
I will tell you, the thing I'm most excited about, CJ, is I am so pessimistic about the Twins. It almost can't be as bad as I think it's going to be, that I will probably be pleasantly surprised when it's all said and done.
Thank you for speaking an 0-9 start to the season into existence.
Listen, I mean, we all think it's over now. Do we need it to be 0-9 that's just affirmation.
That's just like, well, maybe I'll watch the Twins game tonight versus not even going to bother. Oh, and by the way, do you want to watch the Twins? They should be on the same cable channels they were last year. But if you needed to subscribe to MLB.TV to watch all the Twins games and you didn't do it last year, well, you're a sucker, because now you will have to buy MLB.TV through ESPN Unlimited. So you can spend $30 a month on ESPN Unlimited. And you'd think, okay, well, now that gets me MLB.TV, right? No. You spend $30 on ESPN Unlimited per month on a monthly subscription. Well, now you're able to buy a $135 package for MLB.TV on top of that for the whole season. And it's $15 cheaper if you do that option versus buying the MLB.TV and getting a free 1 month trial of ESPN Unlimited and then having to pay after that, which at the end of the day is actually a better deal than the purported deal they're telling you can get. Major League Baseball, get out of your own way challenge, level impossible.
To just watch the Twins, it's going to cost $160, which is an extended basic cable plan.
Yep. And look,
just to watch the Twins.
And there is a path. I will say there is a path. I understand what baseball's long-term vision is, that when a majority of the league gets kicked off, all of their local RSN deals, like the Dodgers are going to stay, the Yankees are going to stay, the Red Sox are going to stay, but basically everybody else is going to be up to their own, and Major League Baseball wants to shop the most of the league to one place and then split the ad revenue like the NFL does. And that's how there's more parity in spending with the NFL. And with that will come a salary cap and a salary floor, and you are going to see teams try and get closer. That is the vision. And I think that is probably the correct path to go, but leave it to baseball to know a path that they need to get to, but in the intermediate have no idea how to keep people invested. It's not a great
not. It's been a rough. I am a baseball fan.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a rough go to be a baseball fan from my perspective anyway.
Right. And this is the thing. Jeff Passan has a long article at ESPN talking about basically the impending lockout that's coming next year and how owners are prepared to not even play baseball in 2021 and 2027. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's going to help the game.
The difference is like the last two times there was a lockout is fans cared. What fans are left to care anymore?
This is a part of the Jeff Passan article, is that baseball interest in baseball among like Gen Z and younger generations is up. Like, it is trending in the right direction. Like, they are on board with the stars. The games being shorter has helped. A lot of that stuff is trending in the right direction, but leave it to baseball to just completely squash that ember that's starting to burn with a work stoppage and with not being able to figure out how to get people to watch your games. So,
and by the way, the last time they fixed it, they turned a blind eye to illegal doping. So, like, the last time they had this major problem, they fixed it by just allowing it to turn into the wild, wild west. Every problem baseball has ever had is of their own creation.
Always. So anyways, good luck.
They can't get out of their own way.
They can't get out of their own way. It could be worse. It could be the NHL, who sends all your players, takes the whole season off to let them go play in the Olympics, and they are not allowed to share any, like, the NHL accounts can't share any highlights on social media of their players playing in the Olympics.
Baseball's so lucky the NHL exists.
The NHL has already approached ESPN about renegotiating a new deal, because basically they're trying to get a deal in writing before the NFL comes and takes all of their money. Because ESPN will happily give the NFL more money for more games, and if they have to drop the NHL, they drop the NHL. Like,
yep.
So baseball is so lucky hockey exists. It's insane. Hockey contracts are like, Kirill Kaprizov made $8 million. Whoa, he's the league's highest player. And meanwhile, the Twins are signing Josh Bell, who's a league average at best first baseman, $10 million. I don't know.
Yeah, whatever.
Justin Verlander, the Husker Justin Verlander is getting $13 million. So
he's got to play 2 more years.
He's got to try and get to that. He's got to try and get to the all-time wins. He's got to get his wins up.
Yep.
So, morning sports desk.
I hope he does it.
Powered by Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade in Wadena. See ya.
Powered by Wadena's Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade. Follow the Morning Sports Desk on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. And watch every show on YouTube.